Okay, so we're gonna draw. The next project is this name tag. I'm gonna draw the simplest version, right? So you can use this as the base exemplar, but I want you to kind of get creative with this and not do it exactly as I'm doing it. So you can change the shape, you can change the fillets to have a different degree or different radius. But this is the bare bones, the bare minimum. So first thing you're gonna do is create a sketch, and I'm gonna draw this on the top plane. So I click top, and I hit N on my keyboard. You can always hit the top on the view cube up here. Now, zoom out a little bit. You can draw any shape you want, right? Um, I'm going to use the center point rectangle, and I'll keep this at the center point origin. You don't have to draw it here. I'm going to click, drag out, and I'm going to define this at 3.5 inches wide, enter by 2 inches tall. Okay, locked into the origin, um, locked in length, locked in width. And I'll change this sketch from sketch one to name tag. Okay, hit the green check mark. Great, our sketch is done. What we want to do now is we want to extrude this. So I'm going to click the extrude button next to the sketch command, click the surface, rotate a little bit. The depth, no less than quarter inch, no more than a half inch for this. I'm going to put this at 0.25, which is a quarter inch. So I'm changing the depth. And you can see a change there. I'm going to change this extrusion to name tag. Great. So here's our rectangle. We need to add text to this. So you need to create a new sketch on this surface. So I'm going to click sketch, click the surface that I want to sketch on. I want to sketch on this surface, so I'll click here. Now, up on the sketch command toolbar, just keep moving your cursor over. You can see the text command. I click this. What it will allow me to do, it will allow me to click and drag and create a text box. So I'm going to click and drag, and I can just create a text box. What I'm going to write, you can write whatever you want, right? It doesn't have to be your name. I'm going to write Natoli. You can change the text. You can do this after the fact too. After the fact, I'm just going to click um, whatever this is, and hit the green check. Now, it probably won't be the size that you want it to be. So what you need to do is you can click and move it by clicking the corners and moving it to where you want it to be. But you need to dimension this. So I'm going to dimension from this point to this point, okay, from the end to the eye. So I'm going to click D or hit the dimension toolbar or icon in the toolbar. Click this line, which is the width. And my name tag is 3.5 inches, so I'll make this 3.25, and it scales it down, right? So I'm still in the command because you can see my cursor has the crosshairs. I'm going to hit escape. So I break the command. And now what I can do is click and move this to where I want it to be. Okay, so once you have this, what you can do is you can click the corner of the text, and you can for this project it's fine. You can kind of eyeball it. If you want, you can center it with dimensions. But for this, I'm just going to drag and kind of place it in the center where I want it. Now I'm going to just change the sketch name to text, green check. Okay, so now what you need to do is extrude it. So I'm going to click the extrude button, and if I click, it should select all the text. If it doesn't, you can select each letter individually. And you'll notice the extrude, it's going to come up way too high. The default is 1 inch. I would say 0.125 if you're going to extrude it up. So I can kind of print this with a nice textured extrusion. The other option is to remove the text. So what I can do is if I reverse this, reverse the direction. So I'm going to have this from blind to through all, and I'm going to change the direction. So if I click this arrow here, it'll remove it down. And instead of adding, I'm going to click remove. And what that does, it removes the letters from the plate. I'm going to change this to text, hit the green check mark. So now I have a nameplate with my name extruded out of it. So that's one way. Now the issue is the A and the O are not connected, so we would kind of lose those. Those would just be two openings. If you like that, doesn't matter to you, that's fine. The other way would be in the extrusion to not remove it, just do your typical extrusion, blind, add, and come up 0.125. Hit the green check, and I have my name tag, my nameplate. Now, pretty straightforward. What I would do from here is add a circle into this so I can put my chain, my string, whatever it is through this. So I have to create a sketch on this surface. So I click sketch. I'm going to click the surface, which is the front of the name tag. If I click this, okay, now what I want to do is hit N or hit the view that I clicked. So that would be the top view. So I'm looking directly down on it. I'm going to click the circle command or C on the keyboard. And I'm going to click in the general area that I want it, click and drag. And I'm going to have the diameter be 0.25, quarter inch. Now you can dimension this in place. So what I can do is I can break this command and I can move this to where I want it. You do not want it really close to the edge because it'll break. I would say you can eyeball it, but I would dimension it. So by dimensioning it, I can use the dimension key and click the center of the circle on the top of your piece. I would give it 0.25, a quarter inch from each of the corners. That's a safe distance. There's enough material on either end where it should be okay. If you're not sure, maybe leave a half inch. 0.35 is probably enough. 0.35 and 0.25. So there's enough material on the edge when you extrude that it won't break. So the next thing I want to do is accept that sketch. I'm going to call this circle. Now I will hit the extrude tool again. Click that circle. Now I want to either click the arrow here or on the command box, click it here. Change that from add to remove and from blind to through all. And now it will cut that hole through our piece. And I'll hit the green check mark. I'm going to title this circle or hole. We have a pretty basic name tag. Now, what I want to do here, I want to kind of smooth this out, give it some more characteristics, some nicer features. So I'm going to fillet the edges or the corners. So I'm going to click the fillet command. I'm just going to go over to the edge here. I'm going to change this to 0.25, my fillet radius. And I'm going to go over to each of the corners and fillet those. Once I have that, I'm going to change this to, fillet one is fine. I know what it is. And now I have the basic name tag. I have a 2-inch by 3.5-inch name tag. It is a quarter inch tall here, an 1/8 inch tall on the letters, a nice circle, and it's filleted on the edges. Straightforward. The last thing you need to do is export this. So this is in our folder. We need to get this ready for 3D printing. So the last thing we're going to do is our part here. All I need to do is right click and click export. And what you want to do is change your name, put your name tag, and format is going to be STL, and click OK. That's going to download. All right. What you need to do is save that to the computer and then move that into your Google Drive.